Scoliosis. Mine is pretty severe. Back surgery is so incredibly dangerous. I don't have back pain and I don't have trouble breathing because of it, and it does not affect my quality of life, so therefore I'm not going to do anything about it. More like a year and a half. Kind of noticed a more significant progression in my scoliosis. We are kind of reaching the danger zone, as I call it. My curve is really bad, and if we don't do anything about it to either stop the progression, because my spine will never be perfectly straight because it's too far gone. It's really bad. I have a curve of 150 on the top and 170 on the bottom. Really bad curve, and like I said, we're kind of in the danger zone now. I'm not in any danger at the moment, obviously, because I'm not in the hospital. I could be in the future if we don't do anything. She walked in the room and we talked about my surgery and how everything went great and I'm healing wonderfully. And then pretty much bombshell went off. And I actually have a concern that I would like to talk to you about, if that's okay. And I knew immediately it was about my spine because I had that x-ray. Like I said, I was going to bring it up, but I didn't know how bad it was. Your most recent spine x-ray, I am very concerned about the future for you. And I was like, oh, serious conversation? Your spine is super curved. As you know, like, this is obviously not a surprise to any of us. We've known that, but I never had any adverse health effects from it, so it's one of those things of like, why fix what's not broken kind of thing. She said, I'm worried for you and the future of your heart and lungs. And I was like thinking, oh my goodness, like this is like the most serious conversation we've ever had about my health, ever. That my lungs are on the edge, that was where her words of on the edge of not being able to function on their own in the future if we don't do anything to stop the progression. If we don't do anything about this in the near future, you will most likely be on a trach permanently. Those of you that know me know that I am not an emotional person. It was so severe and so shocking to me because I didn't expect this magnitude. I didn't know that it was bad, and so I was like, oh no, and I just lost my crap. I cried in front of my entire medical team that was in the room, and there's like 8 people in the room, and I lost my crap. And they're just like comforting me, and they're like, it's okay, like, I'm so sorry we had to bring this up to you, but we just don't want anything to happen to you in the future, and that's why we're talking about it now. I am not having spinal fusion. They had a good conversation. My ortho and my pulmonary team, basically the consensus is now is not the right time because my lung function has always been stable and I'm doing well. It's not necessary right now with the high risks there are with the surgery, and they collaboratively agree that there's a very high chance that after the surgery, nobody knows for certain, but there's a chance after the surgery, stronger chance than most with the severity of my scoliosis and the time that it would take for them to do the surgery correctly, that I could need a tracheostomy after the surgery. Now is not the right time to do the surgery, being that my lung function has always been stable. It's never had a drastic decline, always been stable. Doing it too good with the risks that are involved. So right now I'm not bad enough to take the risks of doing the surgery. I'm considering going out of state for a second opinion in Delaware. You guys have, when I've done other videos, talked very highly of this surgeon. He's in Delaware. He is one of the best neurosurgeons in the country for OI spines. They're one of the top hospitals for people with Osteogenesis Imperfecta, and I know you guys have been following my scoliosis journey, and so I wanted to share an update with you on this. And so I was denied surgery from them. They felt that with the risks that are involved in the surgery and the amount of benefit that I get, the risk wouldn't be worth it. Several people and several doctors that this could eventually suffocate you. You don't want to ever have to succumb to. I have saw out a third option, that this is the door that I've been waiting God to open for a long time. Good things come to those who wait. I've been denied, told no, so many times. I'm praying that third time is the charm, and I'm praying that like this is it for me, like this is who I've needed. For a long time, I sent all my paperwork and all my x-rays over out of state to New York City. I talked briefly about how I was denied surgery from Delaware, and then I found this hospital in New York. I talked about how I came upon it and like how this could be a really huge deal, possibly help me / solve my problems / maybe not. I was waiting to get approved because I had to send my latest images of my spine to him, and so that he could review them to know that if I was severe enough for him to take on, because this doctor only takes on very severe cases. I already got approved. I am actually informing you guys that I will not be going this time around. It was originally scheduled for December of 2019. So right before the end of the year. I was really excited about that because I wanted to get it done over with. MRI was going to be a lot, and with a rush. They were still scheduled 3 weeks because of, I don't know, just demand or whatever. It wasn't meant to be. I did everything in my power to make this work. I was like sad and really disappointed and couldn't understand why God wasn't allowing this denial of Miracle Flight, allowing me to go on December 4th so that it would be done and over with and off my mind. It just wasn't meant to be. He's always for me and never against me, and there's a reason and there's a plan and a purpose with all these trials I've gone through this month and all the literally 30 plus phone calls that I've made to coordinate this trip. There's a reason that all of this didn't work out. I don't know what the reason is. I don't know what God has protected me from, but there's a reason, because every time I've been disappointed or sad or gone through a difficult time, everything has always worked out. I had my CT scan for my surgery coming up in March. The radiologist read that I had mild basilar impression, and if you want to learn what that is and why it's not good. Good news is that I don't have basilar impression, and the CT scan results were incorrectly interpreted to my OI specialist, and so they were incorrectly interpreted to her from the CT radiologist. We can go ahead and wipe this problem off the table. Like, you're completely fine in that regard. Bigger problem we need to look at. And he also reviewed the MRI that I had for my trip to New York to see a spine surgeon. And he said, you've got a massive problem. You don't need to worry about this little problem of basilar impression because you don't have that. He said, what I'm genuinely concerned about is this big problem that you have. He said, and it's your spine, because like I said, he reviewed the MRI. It's been bad for a long time. In recent years, really progressed. He was very blunt, but he was very kind. And I like doctors that are kind and blunt, especially with big problems like this one. I'm not a person that, like, if something is wrong with me, genuinely wrong with me, where my life could be on the line someday, like, I don't want to know about it. Like, I don't want you to sugarcoat it and say, like, oh, it's fine, like, we'll take care of it, it'll be fine. Like, no. If there's something genuinely going on, I want to know about it. This is a problem you can no longer ignore. You need to address it. Your OI specialist and I, we've been talking for a while, and this is something that, like, you need to address. Like, no. Now, mind you, again, this is why I was going to New York. Like, I knew it was bad. I was told that, you know, I've known it's been bad for a long time, and that's why I wanted to get a third opinion. And from the beginning, I wanted my team in Ann Arbor to do this from the beginning, because I trust them wholeheartedly. They know me 15 years, like, they know my whole medical history, and respiratory standpoint is one of the most risky surgeries that you can have. They've been talking for a couple months now, and it's no longer anything that we can deny. It's no longer anything that I can do nothing about. I mean, ultimately, like, I have the ultimate decision. Like, I'm an adult, obviously, like, and they said, like, ultimately it's up to you, but this is a longevity of life issue. He pulled up my MRI, and you could see, like, you know, this wasn't something that was revealed to us in the x-ray, but now my spine is so, like, it's crushing my organs. My liver is now bigger than the lung capacity that I have left. My liver is not enlarged. It's normal size, but basically what that means is, like, my lungs are so small now that, like, they're running out of room. MRI is what really saves my life, pretty much, because it gave us a bigger picture of the magnitude of this problem. I'm 21 years old. Something that you never want to hear at 21 years old is you have this medical problem, and if you don't address it, your life will be cut short. Like, I'm young and I'm full of life. I said a million times, like, I've known it was bad. I've known that for a long time, but I didn't know that, like, my lungs were already starting to be compressed, and that at this point my liver is bigger than my lung capacity. Does not want for me to wait several years to do, and yeah, it is happening this year. Make this video to let you guys know that my halo traction surgery and spinal fusion surgery are officially scheduled. My halo traction surgery procedure is June 15th. August 15th, I will be going under the big 10 to 12 hour spinal fusion. We scheduled these surgeries. Little did we know that we would be in the midst of a pandemic months later, and decided as of today that we are postponing my life-saving surgery, basically, because of COVID-19. The team has decided that it is safest that we postpone it at least a minimum of 3 months and start halo traction until August or September at the earliest. It's so surreal to be filming this video. They feel that it's safe. Operations are going as normal. Procedures, daily life is going as normal now at the hospital. Set a date for September 14th. September 14th starts the battle of a lifetime. Never say never. Am I right, guys? I can't believe that I'm filming this video like this. I wanted to create this special video for me and also for you guys, because I've brought you guys through every step of this journey. I look back at some of these videos, some of the things that I've said, like, I would never do that, it's too risky. I wanted to put that clip in there because so much can change in 3 years. The saying, never say never, really is true. Let you guys in on my heart and my feelings about tomorrow. When you guys are watching this, it will be tomorrow. When I'm filming this, it's only a few days away. My heart and thoughts are still the same, and I know they'll be the same in several days from now when the date comes. But I wanted to film this, share my heart and thoughts with you guys. I brought you through every step of the way of this, and you guys have been so supportive. The main reason why I've shared all of this on my social platform, not for pity or sorrow or for people to be scared for me or to feel sorry for me, but rather be a resource for somebody and know that they're not alone, and know that someone like them is going through something too. Because as I've said in almost every single one of these videos that I've created about my scoliosis journey and preparing to go into halo traction, I went to YouTube to hear other people's experiences. It's YouTube, everybody shares their life now. There's so many vloggers and everybody shares about something, and I think that's what's so cool about YouTube is we all have a story. YouTube gives us a platform to share. When I went to YouTube to learn more about other people's personal experiences, it's one thing to hear about it from a medical standpoint. It's another thing to actually hear about it from a real person, someone that's physically been through it, been, you know, on the other side of it. There was nobody with osteogenesis imperfecta type 3 scoliosis or even severe scoliosis at all shared anything about their journey. I'm very well connected in the OA community, and I have several friends that have undergone halo traction. None of them ever really shared the nitty-gritty of it, what it feels like, and showed me photos. And I know, like, sharing your health journey isn't everybody's cup of tea, and that's fine. But I think that it also can be so comforting for somebody to know that, like, there's hope and that they can be that person for somebody. And it's, I think, so much of our fear, whatever we fear, comes from the unknown, and hearing someone's personal experience, them showing actually going through something like this and what to expect and the other side of it. And so if I can do that for somebody else with osteogenesis imperfecta type 3, that it's all worth it. Like, obviously my experience may be different than yours, and yours may be different than mine. No health journey or health problem or medical issue or any experience is the same as someone else's. If you think about it, every single person experienced a different day. Somebody else, like, nobody experienced the day the exact same way as you. I think what's so cool about YouTube and the medical side of it, people sharing that, is it takes away that fear of the unknown. When you face so many medical challenges, especially extreme ones like myself, that's where that fear comes in. Not necessarily going through it, but not knowing when it's something you haven't gone through before and it's such a big deal, and not knowing what it's like to go through it. So that's why I've chosen to share everything up to this point. I am trying to think, and there's literally nothing in this part of my life, scoliosis, halo traction wise, that I haven't shared. Everything that I know, I have shared with you guys. My experience may be different than yours, but when I went to YouTube, there wasn't a source. I mean, there wasn't somebody with osteogenesis imperfecta type 3 that documented this. So I am going into the unknown. I don't have someone to look to, well-versed in the white community, and many of my friends have went through this, but they never took video, they never took pictures, really show what it's like. There's parts of it where you just have to experience it. There's no way one person could articulate every little bit, like some things in life. You just have to literally go through it and then be able to share your story later. So I am going through this totally blind. You guys know this will be my 25th surgery, and I've never undergone anything like this before. Halo traction is unlike anything I've ever undergone. Not necessarily the surgery aspect of it. That's different from me. Experience of, like, physically being in traction. Like, obviously I've never been in halo traction, and it's going to be for a very long time, 3 months. Every day is going to look different. As you saw from the beginning, I took you guys back to the very beginning when I started sharing about my scoliosis journey. To thank all the things I've gone through to get to this point. My team and I discussed it, and then kind of put it on pause, and then know if I should go to somebody else. Then they brought in the neurosurgeon, said let's do it, and he's like the top neurosurgeon at this hospital. And then, well, before that I was thinking about going to New York to see the top spine specialist, and then that ended up falling through. And that's where I really realized how God redirects your steps, because I wasn't meant to go to New York. God put a stop to that and redirected me where I need to be, but He did that for me because they were the ones that gave me this specific MRI. It led my team to here, seeing a bigger picture, realizing that we do need to take action. Now, we had this pandemic that put it on pause. I was done and through this already. Then a pandemic, and this will be my 3rd COVID test. All the different tests and surgeries I've had to have before this. Look back, and there's just so much leading up to this point, and how much I've gone through just to get to the hardest, one of the hardest parts of this, to the finish line, because the fusion is like the big one, I guess you could say. We are almost to the OR. I'm really excited to see what this will do for me. I'm really nervous. It's gonna be really hard, and I think that people think that you just hang out in a halo and it's on your head and it's fine. It will be fine, but like, it's like physically difficult. My body is going to be physically shaping and changing every single day, as I have 10 pounds of weight pulling up on my body 24/7. I can only disconnect to shower and use the bathroom super quick, and then I have to connect. I cannot take a 2 and 3 hour break. I cannot take a 1 hour break here and there because I'm tired of it. In order for this to work and to be successful, I have to be connected other than the 2 scenarios that I mentioned. And it's not even something that I can to imagine what it's gonna be like. This is a condition that progresses. I've had this for 21 years. 10 days be 22 years. It's not something that starts out super bad. It progresses over time. I personally haven't noticed physical change. Like, I have noticed, like, I'm obviously more curved, and I do experience like discomfort rather than pain. I don't have spinal cord damage, really rare not to have this severe of scoliosis, and I still have control of all of my function and all of that, which is also pretty rare when you have severity of my scoliosis. Even though it's incredibly severe, the most difficult case that my team has ever taken on, way we're set up for success, because even though I'm in this kind of worst case scenario. It's not really worst case scenario based on what could be worse. Usually people in my situation have those things that I mentioned and I don't. So that sets us up for even better success. And the next part of this that I want to take a quick break from explaining what I've already explained many times throughout this video, but again, I'm just making this video and look back after I've been on the other side of it and share and look at how much things have changed in my thought process and what I felt like going through this. On the other side, I can say like, wow, like God did that, like I got through that. Tomorrow is the big day to take this time to reveal to you guys my severity of scoliosis. I don't share this with you again for you to feel sorry for me, pity me, or to be scared for me, because fear does nothing. It takes away everything. Fear is definitely a feeling that I've felt for the past year about this. Just a thief of joy. I share this because I think I've actually, to be honest with you, debated about sharing this, but I want to share this because I think sometimes when we see magnitude of a situation with our own eyes, it makes us want to act. You guys know I love me a good community of prayer warriors, and I'm not talking the kind of prayer where you go on Facebook and you say praying for you and don't. I mean like real prayer, the actual kind of prayer where you talk to God and you praise Him and you thank Him, talk to Him and ask Him for a miracle and strength for me to get through this. I'm so grateful for the team that He has blessed me with. There is literally not a single person, medical team, other than them that I would rather go through this with. They are 100% top of the line. They are doing what any doctor have deemed impossible. They're doing it with confidence and hope, and that is more than I could ever ask for. I share this to really open your eyes to the situation that I'm in, hopes that it will cause you to draw closer to your faith, whatever that may be, whatever that may look like. Community is so important, especially in prayer. Like, you could never have too many prayers. There's no such thing as too many prayer warriors, and that is what is gonna get me through this tomorrow and the next 3 months to come. I am going to put a warning here that it is very severe. If severe medical situations cause you to feel like not good or like anything like that, like just skip ahead a little bit, like maybe a minute or two, I don't really know, will probably be one of the most, if not the most severe case of scoliosis that you've seen. Tomorrow, this is what is going to change. And this is my spine currently looks like. Well, actually not currently. This was December of 2019. As far as we know, and as far as we can imagine, I really haven't progressed. So I know a lot of you are looking at this image right now thinking, oh my god, that's what I thought when I first saw it. It's very opening. It's not your average case of scoliosis. It is very severe, and as you can see, my lungs are running out of capacity. They're running out of physical room to operate. And again, I don't share this image with you to instill fear for me in you. It is for you to really, to motivate you to pray for me and my family as we navigate the next 3 months. So I really wanted to make this video for you guys to share this image with you. And like I said earlier, I think images, it's one thing to be like, oh yeah, this situation is really bad. And it's one thing to say like, yeah, this situation's kind of crappy. To really see the magnitude of a situation that can speak volumes. You know that saying, actions speak louder than words? In this case, it's images speak louder than words, because I can sit here all day, tell you how bad my scoliosis. You can see it's like in the shape of an S. My lungs are out of physical capacity because my spine is kind of taking over, and so the traction will slowly start to stretch over the course of 3 months, hopefully make it easier for my team to operate. Don't know the level of correction that my spine will get from the traction. Every person's spine reacts differently to the traction. Wanted to share that with you, and I think also to share another side of scoliosis. Oftentimes you only see images that look like this, not images that look like this. And so it can be a very dangerous condition. We still don't have a date for fusion. I have one surgeon for the halo traction, my orthopedic surgeon, OI specialist, and then 2 surgeons for fusion, my orthopedic and neuro surgeon. Those 2 surgeons need all these specific people in the room on the big day. It's just taking a lot of coordination. It will be in December. As long as my body responds well to traction, I can stick it out for the whole 3 months like they hope. I'll be doing too many videos while in traction, not because of looks or anything, just because of how I'm gonna feel. When I'm to the halfway mark in November, I think I have it scheduled on my calendar. I obviously haven't filmed it yet because I'm not in traction. I think it's the first or second week in November. I will be filming a Halo Traction Q&A when I'm at the halfway mark, because at that point I'll have a pretty good idea of what it's like. I can answer all your questions about the care, the maintenance, what it feels like, what to do to keep yourself from going insane. I want my channel to be a resource for you and others with osteogenesis imperfecta. As I've learned about the severity of my scoliosis, it made me realize how little treatment has been for scoliosis. And so, like, yeah, I guess it's kind of a long way in the years, but in reality, I feel like scoliosis is one of those conditions falling behind cure-wise, and it can be life-threatening. I want to get involved somehow. I don't know, so if you guys want to donate to the Scoliosis Research Society, they do great things. They're working on finding a cure and better treatment so that one day maybe somebody like me won't have to endure this life-threatening experience. Some conditions, medical technology has come so far, and it seems like other conditions like scoliosis are left behind. I encourage you guys to either donate to the Scoliosis Research Society. I'm not affiliated with them or sponsored by them or anything, but I do really want to get involved somehow after my surgery. So tomorrow my whole world is going to change forever. This is unlike anything I've ever experienced. My team is very excited for me to see the good change it will bring for my respiratory system. I've never had one experience come with so many different emotions. Excitement, fear, mainly excitement and fear, but also hope, because after this I can finally start my life, I feel like, and goals of living on my own, doing what I want in life. I'm terrified, but I'm really excited, and I'm excited to bring you guys along and have a community rallying around me. I don't like that I have to go through this in the pandemic. The moments that I need community the most are when people want to stay away. Yes, there's FaceTime and all of that, but it is not the same, and so I'm grateful to still have friends that are willing to come see me and spend time with me. It's not ideal to be doing this during a pandemic. Scoliosis doesn't stop progressing because of a pandemic. That's just the reality. We're not looking for perfection here. We don't expect perfection. Basically, we're buying me more time to do really cool things in this world. 10 years down the line, don't have to worry about going into cardiac arrest or respiratory failure. That's just the reality, and that's why we're doing this. So that in 10 years from now, I won't have to worry about that, because if I did nothing, that could be a very real possibility. 21 years old is a scenario that nobody should ever have to be faced with. We're not looking for perfection. It's never going to be perfect. My team is going to do everything that they can to make sure that it's successfully as possible, but it truly is going to take a miracle. Tomorrow it finally begins, and I can't thank you guys enough for being there for me. I'm at a loss for words, and I think it's just because I have so many thoughts, internally, I don't really know what to share, but that is what my situation looks like now. Tomorrow, my whole life is going to change. I'm going to experience strength like I've never needed it before. Follow me on Instagram. I'm posting almost every day. I'm terrified, but I'm super excited and so grateful for the gift of the medical team that God has given me. We're hoping that we can manage the care. The plan is to go home after a little less than a week. We figure out the amount of weight. That's kind of what it's going to look like. Instagram is the best for me to update you guys in real time. Thank you guys for being there for me and being a part of this community. And I hope that this video can be helpful for somebody like me, knowing that they're not alone. I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. My whole world is going to change tomorrow. Everything changes tomorrow. My spine will never look like this again. This is crazy. I can't believe I finally made it this point. Alright, for real. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.